What up, guys? That Comic Awesome here, doing another review, doing Batman 43, and I know this is going to be kind of the unpopular take on this, but I really wasn't a fan of this issue. I've liked the this run of Batman that I've been reading so far, but this issue in particular does two things that I'm really not a fan of. It relies very heavily on the knowledge of not just the last story arc, but several story arcs ago. Not several, probably 2 story arcs ago. It relies heavily on that, and it does the very convenient wrap up, which again I hate that. Like, it kind of like waves a magic wand and all of a sudden everything's fine. And I'll show you what I mean by that. The story thus far is Poison Ivy has somehow been able to control everyone in the world except for Batman and Catwoman. They were allowed to kind of live in this world, but Batman obviously kind of figured out how Ivy was controlling them. He took a Superman punch to the face, which then landed him under the care of Harley. So while that was going on, Catwoman went to go see Ivy about kind of letting them go, not be prisoners of hers anymore. And that's where the story kind of gets dull. Up to this point, the last 2 issues I've really liked. They were good, they were entertaining, and they left a little mystery. But a lot of what Ivy's problem is relies again on the Joker and Riddler war, which I did not read. They give you enough information to kind of clue you in on what happened, but there's a lot of emotion that Ivy is experiencing that I think would have been more enjoyable if I had read that, which then makes it kind of a not a turn off, but it makes it a little bit less enjoyable. It's like when you're around a group of people and they tell an inside joke, but you get it, it's funny, but then you're like, it would be more enjoyable if I was on like the inside of that joke kind of thing. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. So Batman wakes up in the hospital. He has Harley, who's his like neuro doctor, because she is a doctor. Superman of China, and Supergirl, they're like kind of guarding him. Meanwhile, Catwoman is talking to Ivy about decisions that they had both made in the past, and during the war of Joker and Riddler, I guess Ivy had taken the Riddler's side. They had both approached Catwoman, to which she was like, "No, I don't want a part of it." And again, it shows kind of what a strong female character Selina is, where she's like, "Look, when men start pandering me like that, I'll always turn them down." Whereas, then Ivy's like, "Oh, what? So because I chose a side, I'm weak, poor little girl who fell into the trap," kind of thing. She's like, "I killed 5 people, and the Joker or the Riddler's army killed scores more than that." So she's like, "How young was I?" Because they kept saying like, "Oh, well, she was young, she was innocent," kind of thing. Which again, I don't know when the Riddler and Joker war took place in time versus what is happening currently. So again, it's hard for me to judge because they keep saying she was young, but I mean, Ivy is probably in her 30s. Like, is this like a repressed memory that is just decided to come up? I don't know. Again, I'm kind of lost on that. Then Bruce obviously has a plan for this, where he's conversating with Ivy through people she's controlling, and Selena is talking to Ivy through, like, right to her, and they're kind of having this conversation back and forth with the both of them. And this is one of the things that I didn't, I just, like, I looked at and I was like, okay, really? So Bruce is talking to Harley, and he's like, you're not controlling, Harley's still deep down in there. You're only controlling her on a surface level, and I know that for a fact. You're not gonna, when you're controlling them, they lose everything, and you're not gonna lose, Harley. And he's like, because, you and Harley are, and so I don't know if he's just implying that they're like best friends, more than best friends. She calls him Pudding, so I would assume yes. But yeah, I was just like you're just gonna, all right, let's just make characters gay and bi, and sure, why not? So it kind of, Selena's like, hey, you seem distracted, and she's like, well, I got 7.5 billion people in my head, and I'm trying to deal with Batman and you. Of course I would seem distracted. And Selena's like, well, that's the plan. And pretty much knocks her out long enough to where everyone kind of is zoned out. But what I like is they didn't just think of this in such a narrow scope to where, okay, they, the people that are just in this comic are now knocked out, but everyone. Because Selena makes the comment, she's like, I'm giving Bruce 14 seconds to wake Harley up, and then I have to wake Ivy up, because then if I don't, planes start falling out of the sky. So it's like, at this point now, she knocked Ivy out, everyone is out, like out cold. So then they get, Bruce of course manages to get Harley up, which again, convenient. And then right in the staple, this stupid ad. Again, right in the middle of like what's happening, like Harley, and then you got a 2-page ad and you have to skip to, and then you got another ad. So Bruce takes Harley, and then this is what I'm gonna skip a little bit. Needless to say, they talk about. Let's see, where is it? Here it is. So Ivy is doing all of this because she wants to make the world a better place. She wants to create a better world. A lot of sociopaths do that. They think they're going to do something right, and then the grand scheme of things, it turns out they were a villain. But this is what's convenient. She's had this weight of killing these people in her mind in the park. But then Batman just conveniently is just like, no, she didn't kill those guys. The Riddler did. I went and investigated those bodies. He shot him in the forehead with, the bullets were matched back to his gun. And I read this whole scene, and I was just like, that's just too convenient. Like, if they would have just let her have killed these people and let that kind of burn on her and, like, deal with that struggle and have to go through kind of the remorse of dealing with something, doing something horrible like that, it would add humanity and a lot more depth to her character. But by sitting here and conveniently just wiping that all away and go, no, she didn't do it, the Riddler did it, it just is like, oh, the burden's gone, now I'm happy again. And it very much irritated me. On the whole, again, I didn't enjoy this issue. Tom King's run so far has been very good. It's been, ever since I started reading it back, I think it was at 32, I've liked it. This issue just did not set well with me. Again, too convenient. And yeah, that's what I thought. Subscribe over here. Watch some more videos. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. And I'll see you next time.